Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special Reunion 2020 episode. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him right back. So today's guest is going to be Rich Cocuzzo, who is founder and president over at Sales Velocity Advisors. Rich, welcome back to the show.
Oh, Adam, thank you so much. So great to be back, and really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and your audience.
Man, I saw your show topic, how to achieve your revenue goals in 2020. Well, you're definitely a sales guy giving me a show topic like that. How could I say no? Are you kidding me? All my audience wants to know how to do that. But before we get into that, let's get into what you're doing over at Sales Velocity Advisors. So first, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure. So thank you. Yes, we work with companies to build and lead high-performance sales teams. And how we do that, Adam, is two ways. A traditional way with a consulting role where we'll come in and we'll assess what the business is doing, all things related to sales and growing revenue, and we'll contrast that to what they should be doing and then make a recommendation on how to address those opportunity gaps as we like to describe them. So that's more of a traditional consulting assignment. The other side of the fence is you've got companies that are looking for some level of fractional leadership for, a defined period of time. They want a sales leader to come in and work with their team and help get them aspirationally to where they want to be, which of course is being a high-performing sales team. So that's what we do, consulting and fractional leadership, a little blend of both, a little mashup, if you will.
That's awesome. And I think that's a great transition. I mean, let's get right into the topic. How to achieve your revenue goals in 2020, which is your business in the first place over at Sales Velocity Advisors. So where do you want to begin?
Well, so you think about the new year, right? On a personal level, we make New Year's resolutions. On a professional level, we look at the year that was and kind of assess how we did. Did we make our goals? Did we achieve what we had set out to do at the beginning of the year? And so for some business owners, they crushed it in 2019. They blew past every goal they set, and they're really excited about 2020 and the opportunities that this new year brings. That's the good side of the business. The not so good side of the business, the good side of the business reality, are those business owners or CEOs that fell short. In some cases, they fell short by a big margin. And so for them, it's like, wow, we missed it. We missed it big in some cases. What are we going to do differently? And I will tell you in both cases, whether you had a great year in 2019 or if you fell short, everybody, this is the month. If you haven't done it already, you really need to look at every aspect of your business and make that determination. What am I going to do in 2020? I'm going to set some goals that are realistic and achievable, and how am I going to get there? And remember, and then you know this, Adam, right? And, sales is all about revenue. Revenue drives businesses. Either you don't have enough or you want more, or a combination of both.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wouldn't glance over that. So there's always times when we're spending or making potential decisions that take away from overall profit. And sometimes those funds don't lead back to more revenue that you thought they were. And when you talk about falling short, that's a reality. So let's break those two components apart for a moment, because I like the way you separated them. So for the CEO and or business owner that knocked it out of the park, what's a tip or two for them to keep on track and to not become complacent in the new year?
Well, good question. And I think first, how did you achieve what you did in 2019? Was it a one-off, a non-reoccurring thing? Maybe it's a one-time sale that is not going to be reoccurring. So you need to figure out, okay, what did we do? How do we, achieve what we did? And then number two, you also need to plan for the unexpected. And that happens every day. What do you do if you lose your top account? What do you do if your top sales rep leaves the company? You have to plan for the unexpected. And you really need, and I know with many business owners and executives, they're like, that's not going to happen. Our customers love us and our salespeople are happy here. They're not going to leave. You can't predict these things. So you've got to plan for the unexpected, and you need to take a look at everything and make sure that you are prepared and you've got a contingency plan that's in place. So that's what I would do in that situation. And conversely, if you underperformed, you have to look at everything. You can't do the same things in 2020 and expect a different outcome if you underperformed in 2019. So similar situation, you've got to, in terms of planning and preparing for the unexpected, but also just taking a clear-eyed view of where you are and where you want to be. I mean, aspirationally, where do you want to be? When you're having when I'm back on the show in January of 21, how was the year that just ended? Was it your best year ever, or did you fall short? And how does that compare to what you did the year prior? I mean, the idea here is to be able to sustain a certain level of success year in and year out. You don't want to have that roller coaster effect when you're up, when you're down. You can't run a business like that.
So, Rich, I guess we're pretty macro on that, and now let's get a little bit more micro. So, and I know that you have this expertise based off of doing your fractional leadership in organizations. Mm-hmm. So you have the vantage point of going to many different organizations and really seeing what happened, some of the mistakes that are made time and time again. What are you finding are some of the common mistakes that people make in reaching their goals when it comes in relation to like their sales teams? And I don't know if it's and I want to keep that kind of broad because I want to steer you. Is it leadership? Is it clear set goals and objectives? Is it? I mean, I know certain themes tend to arise over and over again.
Right. No. Yes, absolutely. So really, there's 4 questions that you need to ask yourself, and I think the first one is do you have a strong value proposition that you can execute on consistently and that differentiates you from the competition? You've got to have that. If you don't have that, your business will not survive. Secondly, do you have the right people in the right roles, specific to sales? They may be great people. They may be really engaging and personable, and you like them, and the customers like them, but can they sell? Do they have that sales DNA? If they don't, they're always going to struggle in a sales role. Third, is your sales compensation aligned to your sales strategy? And is it incenting the right behavior? And this is something that a lot of companies get wrong, Adam. They've got a strategy. Like, for example, well, my strategy is I want to diversify my business. I don't want to be overly reliant on our top 10 customers. Okay, great. How are you going to do that? How do you compensate your people? Well, we give them a percentage of every dollar they bring in. Okay. Do you delineate between revenue that's brought in from existing customers versus revenue that's brought in from new customers? No, we treat everything the same. Well, then your compensation plan is not aligned to your sales strategy because you just got done telling me your strategy is I'm going to diversify. I need to bring in new business, but you're not incenting your people to do that. So you're not incenting the right behavior. And that is probably one of the most common things that I run into. And then finally, number 4, in terms of questions you need to ask, are you regularly coaching all members of your sales team, including your sales manager? And what you find in many situations is you have an owner or CEO. If they have a sales manager, they rely on the sales manager to run the sales team. And they don't spend much time with the sales manager other than just, really reviewing performance. That's it. There's really no coaching that takes place. And, when you're coaching a sales team, how do you coach the manager? there's got to be some level of engagement there. What's the cadence that manager has with the sales reps? What do they talk about Monday morning? How often are they spending time with them making sales calls? Whether it's a inside sales team and they're listening in, or it's a face-to-face field sales team and they're riding along in the car. What are they doing to develop their team from a selling skill and improvement standpoint, right? What type of performance management do you have as far as holding folks accountable for the desired results? So those are the questions that I would ask. The right value proposition that you can articulate to your customers and your prospects, the right people in the right roles when it comes to selling, incenting the behavior that you desire and aligns to your sales strategy, and then regularly coaching your manager and/or your sales reps. Those are the 4 things to focus on.
Man, that's awesome. All great stuff there. And as you're saying them, I'm going through them in my head, and I'm like, oh man, I remember that was done in this organization. Oh, that was done over here. It's like, oh, you're not gonna quantify. You're not going to weight the leads for the expected outcome. Well, guess what? The phone call of picking up to call your existing client that loves you so much and is going to buy from you some more is a lot easier to make than that call to somebody that doesn't know you and hasn't written you a check yet. So you treat those equally. We already know what's going to happen, right? It's just common sense. In retrospect, though, it's not easy, but it makes sense once you really think about it.
100%.
So, Rich, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Sales Velocity Advisors or to connect them, what's the best way for them to follow up?
So the best way to reach out to me, you can do it through the website, which is salesvelocityadvisors.com, or you can just hit me up via LinkedIn, and it's just Rich Cocuzzo. You can send me an email message, or you know what, you can go old school and just call me, 949-981-2161, and be happy to have a conversation with any owner or CEO that's interested in how to build a high-performance sales team. Be happy to help.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Rich, really appreciate coming back on the show, and looking forward to the 2021 episode, and great catching up with you. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, share this with your friends, your family, your colleagues. I mean, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And, Rich, thanks again for coming on the show.